Hi, I'm Kelsey Kennedy, and I'm the guest host of this month's Eatin and Sippin locally.
Hello, my name is Yolanda, and this is Eatin and Sippin locally. This show is podcast in Austin, Texas.
I'm Kelsey Kennedy, and I'm the creator of So Much Life blog, which is an Austin food and lifestyle blog. It's designed to help Austin locals find the best places to eat in the city and help visitors and tourists find fun things to do around town. And the history of this blog actually goes way back to 2011 when I started my very first blog. This was when I was about to finish my 4 years of college, and I was just really excited about life after college, but I was so used to hearing people say, college is the best 4 years of your life. It's so much fun. You have to live it up while you're in school. But I also just knew there was so much life to live after college. I was so excited for everything up ahead. And I used that exact name and created this little blogger blog. It was teeny tiny. I was pretty embarrassed about it. I didn't tell anyone that I was a blogger. I think just my mom and my sister read it, and that was about it. But it was a fun way to keep in touch with them. They were in Texas, and I was living outside of Texas at the time. And it was just like what I do in my day, super casual and fun way to kind of have a creative outlet. Fast forward to when I moved to Austin, which was in 2013 for grad school at UT. And I kind of fell off the bandwagon. I was getting busy. I wasn't really doing anything with it at the time, and I realized I had shared so much personal information on my blog that I didn't want everyone to be reading, on the World Wide Web. So I took that blog down, and I was in grad school. I was busy. I was dating my now husband, and I always missed it. I think it's just such a fun creative outlet. It's such a fun mixture of right and left brain, and the creativity aspect involved with blogging, but also the analytics with page views and SEO and all of that. It's just the perfect mixture for me. So I decided that I wanted to start blogging again, but this time I wanted to be a little bit more intentional about it. So I wanted to find a niche that I felt knowledgeable about, something that would help people, and something that I could just write about forever without getting tired of it. And that was the Austin restaurant scene. I was already exploring restaurants. I was already spending my money on food. I was already giving food recommendations to all my friends and Instagramming my food. And it was just the perfect little segue into starting my blog. So I took the same title from before, but I just shortened it a little bit and called it So Much Life. And went to buy the domain name, started it on WordPress, grabbed all the social media handles, and decided if I'm going to do it this time, I really want to be proactive and I want to do well. And so I probably spent a solid year just researching blogging and how I can do it to the best of my ability, and which camera I should buy and how to edit my photos. And I put some time into it before I ever launched the blog. And then I launched it in the end of 2016. And it took off pretty quickly. I really hustled and put a lot of work into it because I knew I wanted to do something with it. I wanted it to grow, and I wanted to help people find the best food to eat in Austin. So about a year and a half after I started my blog, I got an email from an acquisitions editor at my publishing house, which the publishing house that just published my recent book, Austin Food Crawls. And she said she had found my blog and she liked my writing and my photography, and would I be interested in writing an Austin food neighborhood guide. And I was so excited. I think that's something that is kind of on the back of every blogger's mind, is someday maybe it'd be fun to publish a book. I'm not a recipe blogger, so I knew it wouldn't be a cookbook, but I didn't really know what sort of book it would be. And so when she pitched this idea of doing a neighborhood food guide to Austin, I thought, oh my goodness, that is perfect. That's exactly what I'm writing all the time anyway. And that's kind of what my knowledge source is. And it would be so much fun to write that. So signed that book deal in the middle of 2018. And I worked on the book through the end of 2018, and it came out September 1st, 2019. So every single chapter is its own food crawl through a neighborhood in Austin. So you can pick the neighborhood or the street that you want to visit, and it provides a full day of eating from early morning breakfast or brunch or coffee all the way through lunch, happy hour, dinner, maybe late night cocktails, dessert. So it's a really fun way for locals to explore their city better if they want to just get to know the food scene a little bit better than they already do. And I think it's also just a great source for tourists and visitors who are overwhelmed by this crazy expanding Austin food scene and want to be able to have a quick and easy resource to the best places to eat in the city. If you want to buy the book locally in Austin, it's on the shelves at Book People on Lamar. It's also available to order online on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. As far as writing another book, who knows? I had a blast writing this. It was so much fun. It was a lot of work. I had to go to over 100 restaurants and talk to owners and write up reviews of each place and take multiple photos of every single place and edit. And it was so much work and so much fun. And I would love to be able to write another book someday, maybe in the 5 to 10 year plan, but probably not in the next year or so. There might be a second edition of this book. Who knows? We'll see what happens with it. The restaurant scene in Austin, like living, breathing, evolving thing. And a part of the challenge of writing this book was picking restaurants that I suspected would stay open for the long haul. So I had to pick restaurants. One of my criteria was that it had been open for a full year before I even started writing the book. And so there are several restaurants that I could have included in the book, but they just hadn't been open quite long enough. So I waited a little bit on those. And if there's a second edition, then I'll try to include some more of those restaurants. Thankfully, everything in the book is still open. The biggest scare was El Patio, which is in the Guadalupe, the drag chapter. And that restaurant, they announced that they were going to close it. I think like the day the book was published, it was right there. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is the worst. I'm just publishing my book and one of the restaurants is closing already. And then there was just an announcement a couple days ago that they're going to revamp it. They're going to reopen El Patio and keep it in the city, which I'm so excited about because it's such an institution in our city. It's been around forever. And I hate to see the old restaurants close. So I was excited that they're going to hustle and keep the place open for a little bit longer. So I'm expecting a baby boy, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure how becoming a mom is going to change blogging for me. I know it will change it, and I'm gonna have to roll with it, but I'm not sure what exactly will change. I will always be interested in the Austin restaurant scene. I will always love going on dates with my husband and checking out fine dining restaurants and little taco stands and craft breweries. That's just always going to be something I love. But I have a feeling when my son arrives, the blog will morph a little bit more into family-friendly things to do in Austin, which really I'm pretty excited about because there's also a need for that. There are a lot of people who will ask me questions about fun things to do that are family-friendly or places that they can bring their toddlers or babies in Austin. Places where they can bring a stroller and not get stuck, little things like that. And so I think that it'll be really fun to see how things morph along the way.
Hello, listeners. I hope you've been enjoying Kelsey Kennedy, #SoMuchLife blog. Now, Kelsey is a well-known food and lifestyle blogger who has turned author of the book Austin Food Crawls, and she is now the mother of a beautiful baby boy named Milo. And if you want to get the scoop on the birth of Milo, you won't find that information on her Instagram, but you will find it on her blog. You see, Kelsey has taken a month off of social media to allow her body to heal and to enjoy her family with no interruptions from us. Congratulations, you three. Now, Kelsey, when you come back into the social media world, girl, let's collaborate again because Austin is in need of a good Instagram feed that shows you the best kid-friendly restaurants. And I'm not just talking for fun. I'm talking about to really address parents' real needs. Just like you said, can restaurants handle a large stroller without getting stuck? What is the best time to dine with your kids? And I'd be curious to find out who has the best changing stations in their bathrooms. Something else that needs to be addressed is baby etiquette tips when dining out. Yes, tips. with a couple of S's at the end. I am in the hospitality business, and I have seen parents come in not sure how to handle their little ones in public. And I've seen some scary things parents allow their children to do while dining in the restaurant. So, Kelsey, let's create a do's and don't baby etiquette list. Girl, I'll give you the inside information because I have been in the business for over 10 years, and I've seen some things that parents need to be aware of when dining out with their kids. Okay? This show was recorded at Café Crème, a little coffee house on the south side of Austin. So if you're hearing a few trucks driving by, that is why. I like going to this place because if you spend $20 worth of drinks and food, you can actually use one of their conference rooms at no extra cost. So me being on a budget, this is a great place to meet up at. And this was Kelsey's first time there, so I was thrilled to introduce her to a place that I knew. Now, before she put down the mic, I asked her what was her favorite app. And you know, she gave me not just one, she gave me two really good ones.
I'm a little bit of a minimalist when it comes to apps on my phone. I like to keep them few and far between and just get the essentials. And so one of my very favorite apps that I use on a daily basis is my OverDrive app. This is the app for anyone who has a public library card and want to be able to download their ebooks and their audiobooks through the library system onto their phone. And so I'm a big reader. I try to read 1 to 2 books per week because I think it's so cool that we have public library systems. Tax dollars are hard at work, and it's such a great way for us to be able to learn and educate ourselves for free, which I love. So I'm always downloading audiobooks and ebooks, and the app is super easy. I don't have to go to the library to get my books. It's just downloaded through my phone. I can get it right on my Kindle. And then in 3 weeks, when the book is due, it's automatically deleted from my device. I don't have to drive back to the library and return anything physically. It's just super easy. So most recently, I read a book called Hungry by Jeff Gordonier, who's a food writer. He's written for New York Times and Esquire magazine, and he spent a year with Rene Redzepi, who's the chef of Noma in Amsterdam, which has been called the best restaurant in the world. And he spent a year traveling around the globe with Rene and exploring the food scene of Mexico and mole and tacos. And I love reading food writing, and I love reading memoirs. It's one of my favorite things. So that was a book that I downloaded for free through the OverDrive app. Reading would get very, very expensive if I was reading 2 books a week and paying for every single book. So I love that I can just use the library and download all that for free through my OverDrive app.
And I think you should mention that pregnancy app for the new mom.
Sure, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The one that's been the easiest for me to use is the Bump app. It's from the same team that does the Knot, which is like the big wedding website. So the Bump is their pregnancy app. Every single week it shows a new, it's a little bit dumb. It shows the size of fruit or vegetable that's the equivalent of the baby's size. So I think while we're recording this, my baby is the size of a butternut squash, perfect for fall, right? And it shows just a little bit about what he's doing in the womb, how he's developing, what he's capable of doing, and then also shows what's happening in mom's body and all the changes that are going on. Why I can't breathe right now. My lungs are all squashed. But it's just kind of a fun way for me to keep up with what's happening in my body. Thanks to Yolanda and Eatin and Sippin locally for having me on as a guest host this month. If you want to find out more about So Much Life blog, you can find me on my website, somuchlife.com. And all of my social media handles are pretty easy. They're all just at So Much Life blog.
Thank you, Kelsey, for being a host on this show. As Kelsey mentioned before, you can buy her book on Amazon or at Book People on North Lamar. Now, when I went to buy the book at Book People, they were sold out. And that was a couple of weeks ago. So I drove over to Barnes & Noble's, and they had plenty in stock. But let me tell you, you won't find her book in the food section like I thought you would. Austin Food Crawls is located in the Texas travel section. Now, when you buy the book, you'll understand why. Let's see. I have a book right here on my desk, so let's take a look. Now, I love the front of this book. It has a beautiful layout of the many different restaurants that she talked about in this book. And on the front, it says Austin Food Crawls, touring the neighborhoods one bite and libation at a time by Kelsey Kennedy. How cool is that? Now, when I open up and look at the contents, one thing I really love is that it's broken down by neighborhoods. So you have Boulder Creek, South Lamar, Downtown Austin, Rainey Street, South Congress, Cesar Chavez, East Austin, and on and on. But let's just look at one of my favorites that I like to hang out at, and that is South Congress. And underneath it says, not such a tourist trap, page 51. And I can understand why she would say that, because South Congress, or what we like to call it, SoCo, is located in the downtown area of Austin. So we get a lot of tourist people that really explore that strip. And though that area has went through so many changes, it still manages to keep its really cool vibe. So that's why I really like hanging out there. So let's take a look at page 51 and see what she says about it. So let's go to 51. Okay. And here we are. The South Congress Crawl. Now, on this page, she has about 7 places that she recommends. And at the bottom, she has a map with all the places on it. You can spend the whole day on Congress, because how she has set up this book will allow you to really enjoy the neighborhood. There's so many great things that you can try. You can go for breakfast, lunch, cocktail, dinner, and late night snacks. It is just so cool the way she has this set up. And then on the second page, she has a little history about South Congress and how it all started. Now, on the next page, you'll find these beautiful pictures of great dishes she has tried and she recommends for us to try as well. I've looked through this book several times, and I think the one thing that's really special about this book, she shares really great tips of what makes each neighborhood unique. So, for example, like South Congress, the famous murals that you will find on the strip. Some really great murals that you can take pictures next to. And she has a list of the murals, the name, and where they're located. I really, really like that. So now I know why she has named her book Austin Food Crawls, because Austin Food Crawls is the ultimate experience for a true foodie lover. When I'm finished with my book, I think I'm going to pass this one to my friend, because he owns an Airbnb in the city. And I know that this is one of the books that he would love people to see next to the welcome table, because it guides them to all the best neighborhoods that we have come to love in Austin, Texas. I love seeing that. So this is a great gift if you want to learn more about the local scene. What a great job on this book, Kelsey. Now, as you know, you can find all her information in my show notes. And if you pick up a book, please tag us both on Instagram or Facebook and tell us what your favorite neighborhood eats were in the book. Well, that's the end of this show, and I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to wish everybody a happy, happy Thanksgiving. And Kelsey, I want to wish you and your family great Thanksgiving. And I will chat with you next month with a Christmas lineup to end the year. Bye-bye. Connect with me through Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Eatin and Sippin locally. Love to see what you're posting and who you're following. And if you'd like to come on the show, check out my webpage at Eatin and Sippin, that's EATIN, and Sippin, SIPPIN, locally.com. And if you do download me, please rate the show and leave me a comment, because I like to know what you're thinking. Well, until we meet again, keep it local.